Good morning, Canadian Yarn Heart. My name's Alyssa. As you can see, Willow's right there, and if I just tilt it a little bit, you'll see Mama right there. That's Bit, Little Bit, we call her, or Bella. Little Bit's just a nickname that seems to have stuck for everything. But if you are new here, thank you very much for coming. If you're a return viewer, thank you very much for coming back. Just a quick synopsis of what I like to do here is on Mondays, I do a quick weekly update showing you some of the projects I've worked on and behind the scenes on the week. Just, whatever project it is, whether it's a project or whether it's just a use of new yarn just to get rid of it, just something to show you what I'm doing when I'm not, either hopefully soon working or doing video projects. So the other thing I do is Thursdays I'll release a short and then a project video like this that we're going to be doing today, which is a Hearts Granny Square heart bag. I did make one that ended up being larger, so I'm going to stick to what I did for this one because I do think this is a cute little bag that worked. So the general pattern's pretty much the same as that medium bag, but this one will make a smaller bag. It will make a little bit smaller, cuter, I think, if you want just like a little purse or something, but or something for, as I have a couple of balls of yarn. But I would love to earn your like and subscription. I would love that. I would love to hear from you and any questions, comments, or concerns you have below. I love to hear from my viewers. I'm going to move you over to the overhead and we're going to get started. So we are going to use today, this doesn't have a label, but it is a red heart super saver big white shimmer ball of yarn. It is what I'm going to be using. I have lost the label, but I do know what it is. Yarn Barf. These two are, that is not the right label for that one, are both Bernat Premium. As you can see, this label has seen much better days, but it is just a number 4 yarn. They recommend a 5mm hook or needle, and I think this is a 5mm hook. Of course, it's ripped right at that spot. I think that says 5. As I said, I'm just using some generic yarn I have kicking around. I'm only going to do 2 of the 4 hearts that I did on the other bag. That way it should be a bit faster for me to make up because, as I said, this is very simple. You want to do the 4. It's very easy to add the 4 in. The hook I'm using is a 4mm hook. We are going to start with a slip knot, which I wrap around my 2 fingers, pull it off my finger. Now, this is how I start a slip knot, and it is how I start a magic circle. So that is a slip knot, and we are going to chain 23. So that's 1. This one doesn't count. It is your slip knot. I will work it into this particular, but I don't count it on the chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You just wrap it around the hook and pull through the loop. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So now with a bag, you can go with either spot. So you could use the back loop here, or you can use this upper one. And I'm going to use the upper one this time. So I'm going to skip 2 loops, this one right directly behind the loop, and then the next one. And in the third one, I'm going to single crochet all the way across. 1. And that is very simple. You just put it in the loop and grab it with the yarn, pull it through the loop, wrap it over the yarn, and pull through both. That is a single crochet. Now, one of the things I do for tension, although I find the first row, a lot of times I don't do it. My grandmother always taught me that was how you do the tension. So You grab it this way, twist, and over your hands. Now, I usually don't like to do that when I'm doing the first row to keep the tension very loose. So you don't want too tight on the first row. So I usually just kind of hold it with my hand. Now you can do both ways. I do, out of habit, do it the way my grandmother taught me. She was very adamant about wrapping it around my fingers to get the proper tension. But I always wanted to do it this way. So I do know that this is a perfectly fine way of actually crocheting. You just kind of grab it with your finger and hold it. So you are just going to do about, I'm going to say 5.5 to 6 inches, somewhere in there. And you just keep doing the single crochet rows. I'll stay with you till the end of this to show you how to do row 2. So you just single crochet all the way along. And then when you get to row 2, see, as I said, you could stop here and that would leave your slip stitch. I like to work it in so that when I get to working around the edge of my base, it's already worked in and it's already a worked in stitch where it's not adding an extra stitch. It doesn't look unreasonable. Now you can work your end here by wrapping both of them around. You chain 2 and then turn. You skip that first square and you go to the second and you single crochet from there. And then when you get to the end, if you want, I will stay for this one as well, just because I do know that placement is part of the problem and the beginning and the ends can be difficult. So you just keep working your single crochets all the way over. As I said, this would be right where I would start to wrap it around my finger and then work with my tension. Because at the end of the day, I can do tension both ways. But I find it's a personal preference. This one, I can really tighten up my tension if I really want to, if I'm working with something I need to tighten it with. But generally, I find the less you tighten it, the better it works, which was the opposite of how I was taught, I know, but it does seem to me that the looser you are with your tension, the better it works. Now, here you're going to put one in here, and I know it looks like it's done, but you can always put it, I like to put it right through the slip stitch one you did and just work it up. If you're going and you look and you're like, it looks like I've missed one, go back and see if you have actually missed that stitch, and then you skip that one and you start the next one. So I will be back after I have gotten probably, like I said, 5.5 to 6 inches, might be more 5. I like to make them square so they look pretty square. So it's kind of hard to tell you how long that's going to be, but it'll probably be about that high. And when I come back, I will show you the next step. All right, so I've gotten my base. I've got it 5.5 inches. Where is my tape measure? So there is 5.5 inches. So now what we're going to do is we're going to place a stitch marker. And I like to go into the stitch below, that you like the stitch you just made, the last stitch you made. Grab it. Now this one we are going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now what you're going to do is you're going to go around. Actually, you're going to make a second double crochet right here, trying to get around that stitch marker. I made that a little more complicated for myself than it needed to be, but there we go. So that's 2. And then now you're going to skip 2 spaces. And in the third one, you're going to do 3 double crochets. So for that, what you're going to do is you're just going to wrap around your hook in the same spot, come around with the loop, wrap around again, go through 2 loops, wrap around the hook and go through all loops. And then you're going to do that again. So you have 3 double crochets, go through, wrap around, and go through. And then you're going to skip 2, and in the third one, you're going to do the same thing. So double crochet, and double crochet. And then skip 2, and in the third one, you do 3 double crochets. This is going to be what you do around this base. You're not going to add any on the corners or anything. You're just going to go around adding 3 double crochets, skipping 2, and add 3 double crochets. So I'll stick with you for around the corner. 2 and 3, skip 2, and in the third one. This will leave little holes around the bag, but that's all right. It doesn't bother me. So now I'm at the corner one, so I can grab that corner one right there. And we're going to do 3 right here because it worked out. 1, 2, 3. That doesn't always work out. And then skip 2, and then the third one, you're going to do another 3 double crochets, and you're going to do that all the way around. I'm going to come back and I will show you the next row. And then, just a sec. So the next corner I got to, as you can see, I'm right just before it for the skip 2, do it. So you would go to the next 3, so you go 1, 2, and that's where you want to do it. And that's where you're just going to do, like I said, you're just going to go around the corner if you have to and make your 3 double crochets or your granny stitch in the empty space. So now you're going to skip 2, 1, 2, and in the third one, you do continue on. I will be back at the end of this row and I will show you the next step. So now I'm right at the end, as you can see, and it's right at the perfect spot. You want to do your double crochet, and then you're going to do your slip stitch. So that's where you make the first stitch work together. So now you're going to chain 2, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down and pull it through that, and now I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and that's my first double crochet. Here's my second, and there's my third. And you're now in each open space, you're just going to do double crochets. Now you can do an entire bag that way, and they do come out really pretty, but because Valentine's Day is coming up, I thought a cute little heart bag would look really good. So I'm going to do 2 more rows, or actually 1 more row, I think, only 1 more, of white. And then when I come back, I'll show you how to start doing the heart pattern. So I will be back in just a second, and I will show you the next step to start the heart. So I'm at the end of the row, number 2 row, and I've managed to, I'll show you here. As I came up to the end of the row, I was able to realize that it was where I started. So I can slip stitch that, chain 3, and then just do my double crochet in there. So that's 2, and then 3. There we go. And then you just move on to the next hole. So I will be back to start showing you at the end of this row how to start the heart. So we're going to start the color one. We're going to chain 3. But we are also going to fold it in half. So that and that are both going to get a stitch marker quickly, because that's going to tell us where to start the hearts. Pardon me. Now, if you were going to do 4, you would take that one and that one. It's not quite even, so you're right there with it. So you're going to have to pick which one you want to use. But as I said, I'm only doing 2. I do have another ball of that yarn that isn't as... So I have 2 separate whites here. That's going to help. That way I don't have to travel the yarn behind or whatever. So we're just going to do our 2 double crochets in here. And that's the second one. And now you're going to go to the stitch marker. Just do your double crochets all the way over to it, your granny stitches over to it. 2 and 3. And we'll do that one more time. And 1, 2, and 3. Now I'll show you the first one. I can travel with the color. I'm going to take the stitch marker out. I'm going to start with the dark purple first. So I'm just going to pull it through because that's how I like to change colors. Now, if you hold your white down below, this is a way you can travel with your yarn. I find it'll work for the first row of changing colors, but it won't necessarily work for after that. So 1, 2, 3. And then, so now my yarn is now definitely on the other side, as you can see. And now we're just going to double crochet all the way over to the next color, or to the next stitch marker, sorry. And when we get to that, as I said, if you put the stitch marker here, you would do it to the stitch marker, but I'm just going to do 2 colors. And the nice part about this is it grows very, very easily. So the heart grows really simply, very easily. And it looks really pretty as you're doing it. So you just go to the next hole and do your double crochets, your 3 double crochet granny stitches, and you're going to go all the way around and do the same thing. So I will show you the first heart after this row, and we'll grow from there each stage on the first heart, because it may take a few stages. If you have to do, I think it's 3 or 4 rows together, so to get the right shaping of the heart. So you just want to go all the way across, and you can do the same color, different colors. I prefer different colors. It gives you different looks to the bag. I really liked the big bag, and I liked how it turned out. It just was a lot bigger than I was expecting to make. And I knew this one would be a good one for a cute little bag if you wanted to make, like, even if you wanted to make something like this for an Easter bag and have a little child use a bag like this to collect your Easter eggs or whatever, which will be the next holiday coming up. So we're going to come here and I'm going to take that stitch marker off, and now I'm going to do the second color I have, which is the light purple. Oh, no, I have to finish that stitch off I thought I had. Now I can do it. There we go. So that's 1, 2, and 3. And now you're just going to finish the row off, and I will come back to show the next row. All right, so we're on the next row. We're going to do our chain 3, start the stitch in the hole. 1, 2. We're going to go over to so we're going to go over 2. 1, and this is number 2. So we're going to end up having 3 of them. So 1, 2, and 3, sorry. And then now this is where I carry the white in the back. So you won't be able to reverse this blanket or this bag, but it will look really pretty from the outside. So you grab that, and now you're going to do 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to go over to the next side, and you're going to do 3 over here. 1, 2, 3, and then you're going to grab your white, and you're just going to, with good tension, just bring it up, not pulling it, but holding it securely. And then you're just going to come over here, and you're going to go over to the next color. So I will be back for the next row and the next step. So I just finished the last row, and we're going to do 2 double crochet. And that's because I count the first one as a double crochet, my chain stitch, and then 3 double crochet, and 3 double crochet. Now, one of the things I do here is, as you can see, you see the white, but it's at the back. So I get it crossed over. I come in, I do my double crochets. 1, 2, 3. And then I'll do my next double crochets. 1, 2, 3. And then this one is 3. 1, 2, 3. And then as you see, it is worked in. You can see it, but it's a lot better, and it's not just hanging there. So that is a way to work them in. I'm going to finish this row, and I'll be back with the next row. So now the next row, we do 1, 2. And as you can see, it is traveling that way, but it's all right. It is still the same spot where you want it. It travels. So we're going to go over 1, 2, 3. And luckily, like I said, because it travels, it doesn't add or it doesn't distract or any of that, subtract or anything. So now what you're going to do is you're going to grab purple, just a nice loose grab to go through. Nope. Holding the white at the back, you come in and you 1, 2, and 3. And you do the same on the next one. 1, 2, 3. Oh, nope, that didn't go right. 2 and 3. There we go. That's better. And as I said, you do still see the white yarn at the back, but the front looks really pretty. You don't see it, and at least it's still worked in. And then, so this is the last one. We're going to change back to the white. And I will come back on the next row. So now we're on the next row. We do our chain 3, 2 double crochets. And then we go over here. And we go over to the heart. And this is where we're going to change it up a slight bit. This is where we get to the top of the heart. So we're almost there. So we want to keep that in the back. We do the same thing for coloring, changing the color. Oops, sorry about that. Let's do my start. 1, 2, 3. This one's going to be purple. 1, 2, 3. And then you want to pull the white over. Change to the white. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. Change back to the purple. And repeat on this side. So holding the white at the back. 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2, 3. Change to the white. Oops, hit the camera yet again. And then follow through. I will come back and tell you the next row. Okay, so we're on to the next row. We're going to start it just like normal. 1, 2, and as I said, this one just travels around, and it's all right. It doesn't add stitches. You're just actually going backwards, and it's just going around the bag the other way. So we are just going to come over. Oh, no, that didn't work right. 2, 3. Now this one, we are going to start the top of the heart, and this will be the last row with the colors. So what you're going to do is you're going to do white, pardon me, up to the purple. You want to have white right here. You're going to bring your purple back like you've been doing. You're going to do your purple with the white at the back. So 1, 2, 3. And then what you want to do is you want to get your white in there. And you're going to put the purple at the back. And now you're going to do 2 whites. 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. And this is where you're going to bring back the purple. Keep the white at the back. Go 1, 2, 3. Now I'm going to trim off my purple. Don't need to leave too much of a tail, so that'll work. And now we'll put the white in. Just gonna finish this off. I will come back and show you the next couple of rows, and we're almost done. So for now, the next 3 rows we're going to do are going to be straight white, and I will come back when I'm done those 3 rows to show you what to do the top border. So I will be back in just a sec. You're just going to go white all the way around like you did at the beginning. And that's going to be your 3 rows. So you just do white all the way around. So I just finished doing, actually I did 4. So I did 1, 2, 3, and 4. Actually I did 3. So I did 3 rows after that. So I'm going to now do a single crochet along the entire top row. So we're just going to do a single crochet, just kind of giving you a really nice tight top row, which should prevent it from stretching too much. I've had that happen with bags. So you just want a single crochet all the way around, and I will come back when I'm done that to show you how to do the handle. So I just finished that single crochet row, so we're just gonna trim that off, darn it in. And as I said, you can still see the white in the back, but the front looks really nice, so you don't have to worry about if you skip the, sorry, I'm just gonna work that stitch in. And then we are going to work on trying to find where the handle will go. And this one will be a little more complicated than normal. Because normally I like to follow the corners. So the 2 corners are right here. You're going to come up, fold that, and then that's where you want your handle. Or I could go that way, which is what I think I'm going to do. So that one and that one. So I'm just going to put a stitch marker here to say that's where I want to attach it. Oh, goodness. There we go. And then come over here. And now, actually, that's where I'm going to start it. So we're going to go right in here, and we're just going to start chain 1, and then single crochet 6 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, 6. Yeah, I'll do the 6. Chain 2, turn. And now you're going to make the handle as big as that right there. So that's where your handle is going to be. There we go. That's the way I want it. And I will be back when I have that. So I just finished the handle. We're going to pull off a really good amount of tail so you can tie it up. Now what you want to do is pull that out, grab where you're going to place your handle, and you want to, I'm going to put a locking stitch in first, and I do that, so let me darn it up, by wrapping around the needle like that. I'm going to take that off. Don't need that there anymore. Tighten that up, and then you just weave in between the stitches on the handle. So you just go back and forth, giving the handle a good growth, and then I like to come backwards straighten that, pull it straight so you don't have bunching. And then come up through here. And then just do another locking stitch, wrapping around the needle. Tie it back in tight, and there you have the bag. So as I said, this is a small heart bag. That tight, put that away, trim, and there you go. So there you have the bag. Oh, I think I got it off a bit, but that's all right. My handle's not perfectly symmetrical, but it's just for me. So there's the bag. I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope to see you on my channel again. Bye.